Hello everybody, Dr. Steve Pederuti from Intellectual Medicine. Today, talking about obesity as it relates to thyroid. Now, wouldn't it be great if you were struggling with your weight, you saw your doctor, he said you have low thyroid, put you on medicine, and voila, the fat melted off. A few problems with that scenario. The first of which is the limited comprehension and investigation most orthodox physicians apply toward the thyroid. So stay with me, I'm going to walk you through the basics. Here is your brain. And your brain, in the form of the pituitary gland, makes thyroid stimulating hormone. It goes to the gland, this little thyroid gland, that makes T4. T4 gets released from the gland into the bloodstream, where it gets converted primarily into T3. T3 does the heavy lifting. This is the thing that creates metabolism. Your thyroid affects every organ in your body. If the thyroid isn't right, you're not right. And we'll get to the obesity in a moment, but here are some symptoms that are often associated with low thyroid. Cold, hands and feet especially, fatigue, dry skin, constipation. And by constipation, if you're not going every day, chalk it up. Low temperature, record your temperature each morning. If it's consistently below 97.6, that's a consideration. And then fat retention. These symptoms can exist even if you have a normal thyroid test. When I was in medical school, and still today, the prevailing approach is to simply measure the TSH. They don't look at anything else. If this is normal, you're considered to be normal. However, we know that some individuals require more thyroid than the blood test is indicating. And here's why. Down here at this conversion, sometimes the body makes not T3, but an entity known as reverse T3. Reverse T3 is the evil twin. It neutralizes the beneficial effect of T3. You can have a normal looking study, a lot of reverse T3, and feel poorly, even if you're on thyroid hormone. Some secondary symptoms worthy of knowing: depressed mood, maybe even outright depression, insomnia, hoarse voice, decreased memory, sometimes described as a bit of a brain fog. So you put these together and you start to see a picture here. Sluggish, fatigue, dry skin, dry brittle hair. The weight just won't go away. Now, a lot of other things can create this complex, but thyroid is a big consideration. You must test all elements of it. If the reverse T3 is abnormally elevated, it can be due to increased toxic heavy metals. That's a whole nother topic. We'll get into it in a later conversation. But here's where the rubber meets the road. If you have your thyroid replaced with only T4, synthroid or levothyroxine, nothing happens to the weight. You must add a tincture, a small amount of T3 to this mix to move the needle. Thyroid replacement is not a treatment for obesity. However, if the thyroid is not properly managed, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle as you go through whatever treatment pathway for weight loss that occurs. So a broad topic with a lot of triggers and a lot of symptoms to consider. If you're sitting there saying, yeah, that sounds like me, it's worthy of being investigated. And if your doctor does a TSH and declares you normal, you want to go beyond that level. Well, I hope this was informative and not too confusing. I'm Dr. Steve Pederuti on behalf of my colleague, Dr. Michael Souza at East Bay Intellectual Medicine, who is likewise skilled in thyroid assessment, wishing you a lean 120 years.